Dear God, sometimes I wonder what is happening to us. How did we get here, and is there even a way to start healing? And as hard as it can be, help me to focus on all the good that still exists. Your perfect love casts out fear, and your constant light dispels the darkness. When life feels uncertain, senseless, and ugly, may I rest in your promises. Amen. Hello, my friends. Welcome back. Grab your gloves because we're about to pour some magic. My name is Tammy, and I'm so glad you joined the chaos with me today. I have before me a beautiful intoresin mold that was one of my picks for last month. This is my last one from last month. And it's a clock, a rose clock. It's so beautiful. Look here in this section. We have a place to put beads or anything wood-like in that area. And then here are the numbers, which we're going to take care of after we demold this piece. There's some beautiful leaves here, and then the roses. You're not going to believe what we're going to do to this clock. Oh my word, my friends. If it turns out, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. If it doesn't turn out, then we will learn from our mistakes with this one and create another one in a different video. Either way, we're going to get the clock that we want. I have chosen the Let's Resin Chrome Powder in purple to brush in several parts of the roses. Not the whole rose, only parts of the rose. To give it some depth, I'm going to go in with my Interference Mica from Let's Resin in pink. For my leaves, I'm going to be using the Chrome Powder in green. I don't know if I want to use this green or this green. What do you think? I think I'm going to go with this lighter green. It's the chartreuse yellow, but it could also pass for a green. Or we could do aqua. I don't know. Let me think on that one. I've got my 1 hour fast cure promise epoxy right here in this cup. And we're going to go ahead and pour some of it into this little box that's plastic. I'm going to take my little stick here and I'm going to move it all around. It doesn't matter if it's got bubbles in it. We just want to make sure that it's spread evenly. Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to take our Diamond Dust by Flora Craft and we're going to sprinkle it down in the resin. And we're just basically getting ready to make a crystal inlay. We need it to be pretty big because we want to cut it out to fit this right here. You see that heart? We need to make sure that we have enough there to where we can cut out a heart inlay. That's then going to set on the back of this in our very last pour to make our heart a crystal heart. Okay? We got to pour silicone in this after this cures to make our inlay. Then we're going to pull that out and cut it to fit right here. Okay, now we're going to set this over to the side. I think we have plenty in there. I poured everything that was left in there and it's not moving around anymore. See there? So I think we have enough in there. So we're going to let this cure and start working on our clock. Now I have my purple right here and my interference pink right here. So we're going to go ahead and dust in the roses first. I'm going to get you down a little bit so you can see how I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to put you on a time lapse while I go ahead and finish the rest. So I'm going to take this brush here and I'm going to dip it in this purple. If you can see that, it's right here. And I'm just going to dip my brush in there and then bump the excess off on my napkin there. And then I'm going to go ahead and brush in some of the purple. Just like that. Then I'm going to switch brushes and I'm going to get some of the interference pink on my brush. And then I'm going to go ahead and brush in some of it. And I'm just going to switch back and forth from petals like that until I get it finished. Okay, I'm going to switch back to the pink, the interference. Go right here. Okay, that's how I'm going to do it. And I'm going to go back and forth, switching from both of those colors until I get all of the roses filled. We're not doing the green right now. Okay? So I'll meet you back when I'm finished. I've only done 3 roses and it has taken me forever. I'm trying to blend them in, so yeah, it's taken me a long time. I did not realize how long this was going to take. Oh goodness. All right, I'm going to press on, my friends. I will see you on the other side, probably in about 2 hours from now. See you later. I'm finished. It took me 1 hour and 22 minutes to do the roses, and it took me 20 some odd minutes to do the cleanup. So here it is. Felt like forever to finish those roses. I hope they turn out beautiful. I done them kind of different. You know, some of them's done different than the others. But they're all beautiful, I think. I hope, anyway. But we're going to put clear resin in them. Just clear. And I'm going to go ahead and set my diamonds in. I'm not doing beads because I think that's typical what people may think of when looking at those. Oh, let's put some beads in there. So I want to think outside the box on that a little. And I'm going to use these sparkle diamonds. I'm not sure if I want to do gold or silver. That gold looks really pretty with that purple, doesn't it? Yeah, let's do the gold. And what we're going to do is try to set these in the holes. Let me see. Like that. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. It keeps jumping. You see them in there? That's what we're going to do. Set the diamonds in there face down. And then as I was brushing those roses in, I noticed something else that I didn't see before. Look at this. See that? It's a beautiful bouquet of flowers going across there. So when we demold this, we'll fill in our numbers on our clock and that beautiful bouquet of flowers there. But first, we're going to go ahead and fill in these roses and set our diamonds in with some clear epoxy resin. And the reason I'm going to do it that way is I don't want this powder to float into the rest of the clock. So if you see, the roses are setting down below the leaves. So we're just going to put resin right up to those leaves because our next step will be to do the leaves. Okay? So we're going to try to take this in steps and see if we can get a beautiful clock on the first try. All right, I'm going to mix up some resin right quick, and then we'll fill in the roses and set our diamonds. I have my resin mixed up right here, and we're going to go ahead. I mixed up 4 ounces. I don't know how much we're going to need, but we're going to go ahead and just pour in those roses. And I'm not spritzing any alcohol in there because I don't want to spread the powder around everywhere. So I'm going to stop right there because I see a bubble, and I'm just going to nudge it so it can come to the top. Okay. Now I'm just going to keep pouring. I'm finished laying my diamonds, so now I'm just going to go in and straighten them up just a little bit. I'm going to move our clock, and then we're going to work on our inlay. Okay. Let's get our inlay poured. All right, I'm using Let's Resin's 15A silicone rubber. I have my cup up here. Let's go ahead and turn our scales on. And we're not going to mix up a lot because I don't need a lot. But I do have a few little inlays that I want to pour, so I'm going to do 80 grams. Okay, so I'm going to move that cup, put this one up. And then get this one to 80. Right. And I'm just going to grab this rose, the salmon pink Pearl X mica powder, because I just don't like boring inlays or anything made with silicone if it's not colored. I don't know, it's just me. Who else is like that? Okay, I'm going to go put this in my Resiner's bubble remover machine. And then I'll meet you back. I have my silicone here out of the Resiner's bubble remover machine, the Airless Pro. So now we're just going to go around here and pour some of this silicone. I don't want a big inlay. I mean a chunky one. Alright, we're going to let that cure. And then I have something set up for this. I'm going to pour that in another mold housing. So I will see you later. Our piece here is ready to go. Move on to the next step. Trying to find my green. I don't know what I've done with it. Okay, I found it. I'm going to use the chartreuse yellow because I've used this before as a green and I absolutely loved it. So that's what I'm going to do for the leaves. But before we do that, let me close this back up so I don't knock it over. Before we do that, I want to go ahead and get this inlay out and make sure that we have it the right size. And there's our inlay. Turned out beautiful. Okay. So these diamonds here are going to let us know where we need to cut it at. See, we can see straight through. We're also going to have to put a hole in the center of it. All right, I'm going to cut that hole out and then we're going to lay it down and then we will mark it. There we go. Okay, I think we got it on there pretty perfect. I couldn't have asked for a better cut. You see that? You can see the diamonds all the way around it. So that means we cut it pretty darn straight. That looks fabulous. All right, I got my chartreuse laid out here, chartreuse yellow. So we're going to go in, we're going to paint in our green leaves. Okay, now I'm going to go around and clean up around my leaves in this area right here because I don't know what that area is. Right here. I'm not sure what that's going to look like in the finished product. I'm a little bit nervous about it. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know if I should leave it clear or if I should do something with it. I'm very, very nervous about it. So, I'm just going to leave it clear because I'm not sure what it's going to look like. I don't want to do it purple. I don't know, friends. I don't know what to do. I think we're ready. We're going to go ahead and pour clear resin. Nothing but clear. And I'm going to spritz a little bit of alcohol. So what we're doing now, let me explain it. I'm sorry I didn't explain it. We're covering the leaves now. And I know some of these leaves are a little bit higher than the other ones. But how we're going to hopefully combat that is I'm going to pour the resin in the leaves. And that will coat it with the resin. So it'll be ready for the next pour. It'll have resin in it, you know, so that powder shouldn't float in the center of our clock. Okay? All right, I've coated all of the leaves with epoxy resin, every one of them. So hopefully our next pour won't run into the clock here in the center. That green won't go into the center. Okay? All right, I'll see you all back in about 2 hours, and then we will top this beautiful clock off and move forward. See you later. I didn't want y'all to miss this part. I'm going to take that inlay off because some of that resin seeped under it over here. So I'm just going to take a few Q-tips and back it up. Just like that. There we go. All right, and I'm just going to keep cleaning it. It shouldn't move into it much more. And then I'll meet you back. See you later. Something's telling me, my spidey senses are telling me I need to go ahead and take care of the numbers on our clock. So that's what I'm going to do. We just did the leaves. We just covered the leaves in resin. So it's still wet because we just done that. And then the more I sat here before I walked away, I couldn't live with myself if I walked out and left it like this without doing the numbers on the clock. So let's go ahead and do that. I have some resin right here, just a little bit in each cup, not a lot because we don't need a lot. Here's our plum and our chartreuse yellow. I'm going to go ahead and do the clock numbers in the plum purple. And then there's a bouquet of flowers right here. I'm going to try to get that done as neat as I can. So, let's get to it. I'm just going to drop in a little bit of these chrome powders into each of my cups here. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I'm going to try to suck some of this up in here. If it'll work. I'm probably going to have to use a little stick. You think that's going to work? Of course, I'll clean it up a little bit more. Oh, but didn't stay in that one, did it? Oops. I think I'm just going to place it in with my little stick. That seems to be less messy. Friends, it took me forever, it seemed like, to get this brushed in and cleaned up. Oh my word. I hope it's going to look beautiful. I've spent so much time on this piece already. So much time. Oh, let's see. How much time do we have in it thus far? Let's see. So, I added it up. And we've got 3 hours in this piece already. That's a long time. So I hope it turns out beautiful. I'm just a little bit worried about this space around the clock heart. And I don't know, maybe I'm just thinking too much into it. Maybe it's just going to blend in and it just looks that way from the back. We're going to let this cure up and then we're going to go in with our inlay. We'll place our inlay right there. But we're going to let that cure up first. Alright, I will meet you back when it's time to do our last step on this clock. See you later. I just thought about something after all this time, and I just now think about it. What a moment to think about something like this. This clock looks matte. And if it is, I don't think our inlay is going to give us that crystal look on the other side. I'm super bummed right now. I'm so afraid this is not going to work out how I wanted it to. And if that's the case, then I would much rather the center be done in this interference pink. But I don't know. I don't know what it's going to do. We can't lay the inlay on there right now anyway. We're going to have to lay it on the back of the resin. Like that. Got to fill all this up and then lay the inlay on the back like that. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't change anything now. I'm stuck like Chuck. I mixed up 6 ounces of the Bond Crafter epoxy resin. I don't know how much we're going to need. And I ran it through my Resiner's Airless Pro Bubble Remover machine. So let's go ahead and spritz some alcohol into the mold. And now we're going to go ahead and pour. Okay, we are filled up. So I'm going to take this tool right here. I see a little bubble right here. And I'm just going to run that tip through it until I fill the bubble up. And I got it. Okay, I don't see anything else. So we're going to take the heat gun, run it through there, pop any surface bubbles. We're going to spritz some alcohol. All right, I'll meet you back in about 2 hours when this firms up some so we can lay our inlay, crystal inlay down. All right, see you later. Cross your fingers, my friends. I'm super worried about this one. See you later. Are y'all ready to put our inlay down? All right, here goes. We're going to put it face down. Right like that. Okay, I'm going to cover it back up. Meet you back when it's time to demold it. I'm super nervous about this. Oh, I hope it turns out. See you later. It's time for demold, my friends, and I'm still super nervous about this. I have a few clock making parts here. Got 3 different ones, so hopefully one of them will work. All right, let's get our inlay off. And pray to God that we can see it on the other side. All right, here goes, friends. Let's get it out. I'm just going to work my way around it, loosen it up. And those chrome powders, those chrome powders stained my mold. Look. Okay, here we go. Please, please, please let us see the crystal look on the other side. Please, please, God, please. I worked so hard on this. Are y'all ready? Oh, you can't see it. But if we put some resin in here, I think we'd be able to see it. It's still beautiful. It is still absolutely beautiful. But since it's matte, our diamonds aren't sparkling. But I do love matte molds, my friends. Y'all know I do love matte molds. I think they're beautiful. You know, it doesn't always have to be a shiny mold. I think matte mold switches it up a little bit and gives you something different. This turned out so beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I love how all my roses are different. I wanted them that way. I didn't want them to, you know, be the same or try to look the same. So I tried to do all of them different. I think they're so beautiful. I got it working. See? So everything is fixed. Looks good. It takes a AA battery with the little kit that I bought from Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to finish it off. I'm not sure. we're going to go ahead and try to fix this. I have some of my plasticine clay. It never dries out. So we're going to poke some right in this hole back here. And that way we won't have any resin seep through. I've got my resin right here. I'm using the Bond Crafter epoxy resin. I'm not going to do tabletop on this because I don't think it's going to be, you know, handled a lot because it's a clock that sits on the wall. So we're going to go ahead and pour. And as soon as I pour, we're going to get that crystal effect from the back going to move to the front. Are y'all ready? Let me get you down so you can watch this. It's going to be pretty cool. And I'm looking for a clock box that's clear. Hopefully I can find one because that will definitely work. I hope I'll be able to find one. We're just going to put a little bit of resin on here because I don't want to put a lot. I do not want it seeping over to the roses. Okay, we'll see if that's enough right there. Can you see the crystal effect? I can see it. Of course, it doesn't look a whole lot like crystals, does it? Maybe it's because it's laying down. Yeah, it's because it's laying down. Looks like bubbles, doesn't it? Alright, now we're going to take these diamonds, the gold sparkle diamonds, the rose color ones from Laura's Art Corner, and I want to add a little tiny bit of resin right here in the center of this rose, and then place the diamond right there in the center. Just like that. Alright, so I'm going to go around and do that to all the roses. I'm going to go ahead and cover my center there so I don't get any fuzz in my dome there. Okay, we've got all the diamonds in. And everything looks good. So I will meet you back in the morning. See you later. Let's take our cover off and see how it turned out. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. We got the look that we wanted. Now I need to get that out of the center there. And I've been looking on Amazon for the clock mechanism in clear. And I have not found one yet. I'm hoping they make them. Every one I see is black. So that may be an issue. I don't know. I'm going to continue looking. Hopefully I can find one somewhere. Or it's just going to have to be black. It's just going to have to be that color, friends. Because I want this to be my crushed glass look in the center. And we achieved that. I'm super excited about that. Our diamonds look really beautiful in the center of our roses. They're just dancing around. This turned out beautiful. I love it. Love, love, love it. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. I got to get the clock put back on it in the center. And then I used my glitter golden nugget to fill in my cross again. I'm going to make another one of these. I'm going to put several of these in my shop in case someone wants one of them in their home. But I'm going to go back over it a little bit more. And then I finished my little turtle shaker. Turned out really cute. I put these little flowers in him with the leaves. And then some little other little pieces to make him rattle. So someone will get him in their package. Then I finished this one. Cute little shaker. I might put something else on it, I don't know. But it turned out really cute. And then this one went off on the edge and I didn't see it. But it still turned out really cute. I'll fix it some kind of way. I've put the clock back together. So there it is, ticking away. It turned out so beautiful. I absolutely love this clock. But I have a few more things to do to it before I'm finished. I did notice that I got a little bit of resin right here and right here. So it really made those diamonds sparkle and dance around because that's what they do underneath the resin. So now I'm going to make I'm going to have to do another pour in the center here. And I'm going to make sure I get all of those little bubbles that I placed the diamonds underneath. So it will bring those out as well. And they can sparkle and dance around. And it will really match and look good with our little diamonds in the center of our roses. Because right now they just look like little gold beads. And then you have the few that are sparkling over here that I did get resin on. And I didn't realize it. So I'm just going to do another pour right here in the center. And I did notice that some of the letters are risen out of my dome and some are underneath it. I don't know if you can see it when I turn it to the side. Can you see how the 11 and the 12 is sticking up? But these over here are underneath the resin. So one more coat of resin will take care of all of that and fix it and just definitely finish this clock off in a beautiful way. I think this turned out so pretty. I couldn't have asked for a better turnout. The only thing is I need to get a white casing for my clock. A clear, not white. I'm sorry, clear. I'm looking for a clear box for my clock mechanism. And I may have to go to a clock store to get it because I've been looking on Amazon and all of theirs are black. So I'm going to have to purchase it from an actual clock store because I know they make them. I've seen them before. So I need to put my name tag on the back and I'm going to pick my purple one. So I'll show you how I'm going to put my signature touch on the back of this clock. I'm going to put it right here. Just like that. And then I'm just going to throw a little UV resin dome over it in a little bubble. And that's how I like to signature style my pieces. I picked purple because the clock is purple. I have different colors in here. If you would like to make yourself one of these beautiful clocks, I will throw the link down below to intoresin where you can find this beautiful mold, and I'll throw my discount code right up here for you and you can save some money while you're there shopping. I do get a little kickback from that. It's not much, but hey, every little bit helps. So please help me out and use my discount code when you're shopping at intoresin. I could sure use the help, my friends. And it's about that time for a sweet goodbye. And I will see you in the next video. God bless you. Goodbye, my friends. Enjoy your weekend.